All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Service Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner II, team leader, Champions Real Estate Team. So every Wednesday we jump on here and talk about the real estate market over the last 7 days. And joining me is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. And then Camden, he's kind of made a regular appearance the last couple of weeks when he's hanging out with Daddy. If he hears Daddy on the camera, he likes to hang out with Russ and see what's going on in the real estate market, huh? Right? Oh, don't eat the table. So, anyways, we always like to start out with a quick tip here. One thing that I was thinking about is initial investments and timing. This time of year, I get a lot of people calling and say, "Hey, we're going to save up money. We're going to, maybe buy a house next year, or the next spring, and we're just not know if this is the right time for us or not." Well, in time, we want to time the market. Well, timing the market isn't important. It's more of, the right time to buy is whenever you are ready. Ultimately, what you doing? And so that right time to buy, maybe now, maybe later. But I'll just put in perspective the quick tip that I had that when my wife and I were going to build our house is that, hey, let's wait a little bit so we can save a little bit more money. And that's what my wife and I was like, honey, the cost at the time, cost of new construction was going up about 30% a year. And I'm like, for every $1,000 we save, it's only going to save us $5 a month on our house payment. There's the blinding flash. She's like, are you kidding me? And I go, yeah. So if we save an extra $5,000, for example, it's only going to save us $25 a month. And she's like, well, that's just dumb. And I was like, well, it kind of is when you think about it. So, we looked at it that, to offset that increase of the new construction cost, do we just bite the bullet? Is now the right time for us to pull the trigger to start building a house? Or for anybody out there, is now the right time to pull the trigger just to buy a house, not even just new construction? Because if you look at it now, just for example, if a house costs $400,000 today, let's say it costs $415,000, next spring. Well, that $15,000 is $75 more a month that you're going to pay on a house payment. Well, in your mind, maybe you're thinking, well, if we save an extra $5,000, I think we'll be in a better position. Well, that $5,000 is only going to save you $25 a month, which now you are a net negative of $50 a month. That if you bought that house today at $400,000, if all those stars align and if you are ready to pull the trigger on that, that's where it makes sense for you. And that's the number you have to have in your head at night to say, hey, this is the right time. You're going to get down? Is now the right time for you? And the only person that can answer that is you, or your spouse or whoever's in that buying process. So that, our goal here, like I said, is to give you that information. And, people have that, benchmark in their head that, hey, if I save 5,000, if I save 10,000, 50,000, 20,000, whatever that number is, then I'm ready to buy a house. Well, while you're saving up that money, and if costs are going up on home prices, you may be in the hole, from a monthly payment standpoint. And ultimately, it doesn't matter what interest rates do. Interest rates are going to be interest rates. You can refi, you can buy them at certain times, you can get them at the low, you can get them at the high, you can refi into a new one, so that's just a moving target altogether. So I think the biggest thing is one, you have to be ready to pull the trigger when you are ready. But ultimately, I think, what we try to do at Champions Results Coaching, that's our real estate school, but we teach there as well. But at Champions Real Estate Team, we try to get everyone so that you have that number in your head to make sense. That's the thing. Like when I sit down and have my buyer coaching sessions with my clients, hey, does it make sense to buy a house now? Great. If it doesn't, then let's wait. And let's get that number that makes sense for you. But sometimes when you just break it down into those little bite-sized chunks of it here, $5 $1,000, $6 $1,000, depending on what interest rates are. That's not going to move the needle very much when you wait 6 months to save. If you're putting extra $5,000 or $500 a month, into savings, is that really making a big dent in that, or should we just pull the trigger? So, but yeah, that's kind of my quick tip. That's something I personally use. When my wife and I were just discussing it, and it's like, guys, if we save an extra 5, 10,000, whatever that number is, it's not even going to be peanuts for what it's going to cost us, for the materials to build a house, because those things typically aren't going down. The cheapest time to buy new construction, when that is, Russ? Yesterday. So that's what my dad has always taught me over, his 40 years in the business. But that's something I always joke around with my clients about. But anyways, yeah, let's take a look at what the market's doing here. Let me pull up the graphics. So hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. So we'll see that reflection of the numbers here. So typically we're right around 500 or so, 550, new houses going on the market on average there, and we're down to 316. Well, it's a holiday weekend. Some people pulling the trigger, getting their house on the market, trying to hit those holiday people, those people vacationing into town. Likewise, 220 new contracts written. Usually we're up in that 350, 400 ballpark in there. So that's just a holiday weekend. But those buyers that are serious are out there. So that's a good time to get out there when there's not a lot of rush on there. Sold homes. We had one of our clients just closed on a house on a Wednesday, so congratulations to her. I'm excited for that, but she's one of those 276 happy new homeowners there. So yeah, not too much craziness on the market. Obviously with the holiday weekend, obviously we'll start seeing it'll be steady Eddie here. Going into Christmas, and I think obviously we'll see probably same little dip here. When we get up to the holidays, Christmas and the holiday season there, the New Year, and then we'll see things start ramping up. So let's look at a 30,000-foot view. Like always, these numbers don't change too much, but we're down about, we're not at 35,000. Last week I goofed up and forgot to delete one of the numbers there. So we had 35,000 homes, but we're at 3,500 homes on the market, 2,000, almost 2,100 on the Douglas Sarpy County. Just over 1,000 houses on the existing side of it. So it's hasn't really changed too much, fluctuating there. 1,000 on new construction, nothing crazy there. Months of inventory, that basically dropped or went up because our pendings and stuff like that from that previous slide there. So, we're still seeing the same thing we see on this graph, pretty much week to week, nothing crazy. That previous graph is really showing what's going on a weekly basis. This is like that 30,000-foot view, what you see in the media, what you hear on the news and all that stuff is usually what these numbers is what they give you. But they're not seeing, what the market's truly actively doing down on the ground level on the playing field. So, but yeah, let's jump in here with Russ and see what he's got on the mortgage side. And how are we doing, Russ?
Doing pretty well. I really like those inventory numbers. That tells me there is potential there for buyers sometimes to get some help if they need it. So if you're thinking of buying a house anytime in the next year, don't wait until spring. Contact Mark and his team now. This is a great time. As far as mortgage rates, we're continuing to trade sideways. I really expect we probably will, unless we have a surprise all the way up until after the new administration is inaugurated. We did, of course, have some instability in the Korean Peninsula yesterday with martial law being declared. And anytime there's instability, typically that favors mortgage or bonds in general, which is a good thing for mortgage rates. And so we did see some mild improvement yesterday. We also are going to be watching very closely this week. The first Friday of every month is what they call the non-farm payroll report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And that likely will tell us what direction, if any, we might move between now and a month from now. So having said that, there is still some great opportunity out there to finance homes. There's still some down payment assistance programs available for first-time home buyers. And certainly, there are most of these loans have no prepayment penalty. So if we do see rates improve in the future, we can refinance those to better rates, as Mark pointed out, rather than losing that $50 per month in cash flow, buy the house now and refinance it if rates improve. Fannie Mae did come out in the last 2 weeks, and they softened what they projected rates might do over the next couple of years. They're not seeing rates going as low as what they were previously seeing. So those of you that are waiting for lower rates, some of the big guys, Fannie Mae in this case, is projecting they're going to be as low as maybe we'd like them to be. We're likely never going to see those 2s and 3s again unless something really extraordinary happens. But you certainly can buy a house where rates are today. And if the rates do improve, we can certainly improve that for you. So get a hold of Mark and his team. Get out there. This is a great opportunity. Inventory is up. There's a better selection. And get into the house before Christmas. It's still possible.
Yeah, and like you said, like people wait into the spring. Right now, I'm seeing across my emails tons of agents putting seller motivated, write us an offer, give us this, or seller willing to do concessions, whether that's a home inspection or home warranties or closing costs or those type of things. You're not going to see that. We don't see that typically too much in the spring, in the summer markets because they know, depending on what, where the market is, they don't need to. So right now they're trying to get it done. They want to have their house. They want to have a nice holiday. So if you're thinking about buying a house in the spring, maybe, get in touch with us, jump on our website, championsrealestateteam.com, and see what's out there. Check the inventory. And let's go take a look at a few of the houses. And if it trips the trigger, then let's rock and roll. If not, let's wait. It don't matter. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I had. Russ, I really appreciate you jumping on and declaring your signing day here today with your Nebraska shirt on. So
we've had a lot of turnover in the Husker world. Guys, we got a bowl game. We need to celebrate the bowl game. Win, lose, or draw, we get extra practices. It looks like we're losing the defensive coordinator and some other coaches, and we'll have a new batch coming in. But there's hope, right? There's always hope.
Well, today's early signing day. So I think they just signed one of the quarterbacks I just saw on social media or whatever. So I
You
don't
know,
know.
I might sign up as water boy. That's about the best I could
Yeah, there
do.
you go. So, but all righty, awesome. Well, I appreciate everybody jumping on. Like I said, if you have questions, comments, anything you want us to chat about, give me a holler. 672-7670. Give Russ a holler 290-8936, and we'll talk to you guys all next week. And take care.